Let's talk about Madonna and Cyndi Lauper, who is opening up about her this long standing story regarding her having a feud. Cyndi and Madonna had been feuding, and here's the thing: they look before there was Britney and Christina. Oh, who's the new generation one? Is it? I mean, yeah, who's the ones? Who's the new Britney and Christina of like Gen Z, Gen Alpha? Is it Camila Cabello and Sabrina Carpenter? I know y'all trying to create that. And it's like, no, y'all not. It's not giving. So before, like I said, so before there was Britney and Christina, there was Madonna, and there was Cyndi Lauper, and there were two contemporaries that were coming up, and the way that people looked at them, it was sort of like, yeah, they were, the media, the industry, were trying to pit them against each other. Um, and Cyndi saying, "There's no bad blood. We don't have bad blood." Go on, Beyonce. They said 1983 was a very good year for pop music and made up pop feuds. In July of 1983, Madonna released the first album featuring her hits Holiday, Dressed You Up, and Borderline. A few months later in October, Cyndi Lauper released her debut album, She's So Unusual, which included iconic cuts Girls Just Want to Have Fun, oh yeah, I love me some She Bop Chad, and Time After Time. Both women had big, quirky personalities, a creative thrift store punk aesthetic, and infectiously fun radio hits. So Lauper, who's now 71, says it was no surprise to her that the industry tried to pit women against each other and make it seem like they were enemies. She said in the 80s, they started to pit women against each other. This is what she told People. Well, actually, it started in the 60s, the pitting of women against each other and wanting to go back to what they'd been doing before women's lib or whatever. But the Madonna beef was simply made up. So as soon as I saw her do like a prayer, I was like, oh my God, I love her. And I loved her ever since, Lauper says. In an interview with The Guardian over the summer, Lauper talked more about the fictional feud, saying that as if you could only have one woman who's successful, what the hell is that about? The woman, Madonna 66, had been entertaining us for years. She's made great pop songs. I want to be competitive, but not pitted against another woman. I'm not into that. This is what she added at the time. Now, the Grammy winner is currently gearing up to kick off her Girls Just Want to Have Fun farewell tour and open up the people in the year because she's going to be at my job on the 30th of this month. And then there's the Duran Duran one on Halloween. So she about to tear it up. So they said, she basically is opening up in this week's issue about the things she learned throughout her 42 years in the music business. Excuse me. She notes that despite looking like a wild child, she wasn't actually wild at all and hardly drank. Because I don't drink, I don't smoke, it's very boring. But because I was a singer, I had to watch out for my voice. Yeah, she's not a drinker and a smoker, but child, what about her son Declan? Well, you know what? I'm not going to go there with her son. But she also says she's even talking about how her first big splurge when she became famous was a washer and a dryer. She said, I still love my washer dryer closet. And she said, but don't mistake her for a domestic goddess. Was it Joan Rivers who said, cleaning a house doesn't make you sexy? No man ever came home and said, this is immaculate, you hot bitch. Let's do it right here. That is funny. But you know what? I totally agree with her on this situation. I said, yeah, let's put in that picture because this is always funny whenever I would see this picture. So I kind of agree with her with all this other stuff. It's like, yeah, they made this whole situation in regards to, oh yeah, because they were two of the biggest stars at that point, and the industry basically looked at Cyndi Lauper as the one who was going to be the big superstar, and Madonna was going to be this flash in the pan. She was going to be this one hit wonder, but similar to Kylie Minogue, where she's been counted out so many times, her tenacity and her will to succeed exceeded the expectations of her haters and the critics. So Madonna had to prove time and time and time again, even though Azealia Banks and that old big forehead ass heifer want to run around saying that Madonna's not talented and all this other stuff. But it's like 4 decades in the business, so many, double, 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 double upon double hits. Where's yours? But you want to read somebody on what you think they're not talented, but you would not be able to sustain 4 decades in a career if you had no talent. That's just virtually impossible. And there's not enough money in the world where you can buy off people to get those awards and those accolades. So, um, yeah, there's always been this thing where it's with women, especially when it comes down to, oh, well, we can't have more than one artist to enjoy. We see it in our pop peers, our pop female peers. We see it in female rap game, where it's like when you look at female rappers, we can't sit and believe that there's a possibility that more than one woman could exist. When I was growing up, there were so many different variety of female rappers that were on the charts, that were succeeding, that were doing their own thing. So we can multitask. We can accept more than one thing being the representation. We don't just need one person to be the full representation of an entire generation. We're not a monolith. And I just wish that the industry would stop being so lazy with doing that. But they love a cat fight. That's why, in so many ways, they like to play into that. So I definitely agree with her on this. And you know what? Shout out to you, Cyndi. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you're gonna bring um in regard to this upcoming tour. And how she pretty much was like, you know what, I had to just lead a boring life because my voice is my instrument. And so I couldn't be out here drinking and doing drugs and messing up all my stuff. I really have to focus on giving the best performance because these people out here, with their hard-earned money, paying all this money to come see me live. And I can't just give y'all a half-ass show like some of these people out here be doing. And she basically was like, yeah, she never had needed drugs to escape. Is that when you're singing, if it's all working out, that makes you that takes you to another planet anyway. So it's like, yeah, I get my sense of euphoria from singing. So I don't need to do drugs to get high. I get high off of performing. That adrenaline and that feeling, that's enough for me. So shout out to you, Cyndi. Cyndi's always been a class. Like I've always liked Cyndi Lauper. It's like that's I grew up as a kid listening to Madonna and Cyndi Lauper and all other stuff. And I love the fact that she came out and she pretty much said that there is no beef. So the industry could say and create all kinds of fake narratives if they want to, but there's no tea over here, no drama. So I said all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.